Hey guys, here we go into a quick breakdown of Naoya Inoue versus Riel Casimero. And if you'd like the full fight breakdown, you can check it out on Patreon. $10 to sign up, $10 a month, or you can check out the Vimeo video. It's posted there. It's $3. You can buy the full hour and 18-minute long film study. We're gonna cover these clips, the ones that I'm gonna go over now, plus many more clips in the fights that we wound up reviewing. But we're gonna talk a little bit about Naoya Inoue being kind of a better counterpuncher than he is an aggressive fighter. Okay, here he is drawing these attacks in, and Inoue likes to kind of fight more towards the front foot, and that gives him space to move his head away to counter going towards the back foot. Now this is going to be very important going fighting Casimero, because Casimero likes to throw big bomby punches, and they require a lot of precision. So being able to move your head away from them will create a lot of opportunities for Inoue, especially if he can find and time those punches. Now, they're not all going to come to the head, okay? As Donaire shoots here to the body, but Inoue very capable of finding that left hook to the head, and that's going to be something that I think is going to be very valuable for him. And I want you to pay attention to Donaire's footwork here when he gets drawn into this punch here. His right leg comes up off the ground, okay? Kind of loses balance. He's going to be stuck in this position, and that meant that he's more available for that kind of counter more often because his weight comes off the ground, and he has to fight for his own body mechanics to get control of his body. Now, Inoue doing an excellent job of countering here, okay? Now, here he is at the beginning of the fight with Maloney, setting that move up, trying to take a step back, and then as Maloney brings his weight forward, look at him follow his weight backwards, okay? He's looking to set up that same exact shot. Now, this clip I also wanted to highlight real quick. It's right after Inoue is taking that same step forward, boom, moving forward, and it's acceptable to the exact same counter, okay? Look at where his hands are. When he jumps into pendulum and gets all his weight into his biggest punches, his hands are not always up either. But that's not actually what Inoue does best anyway. What Inoue does best, generally, he has a decent jab, but I want to point out in this clip that he is stepping with both of these jabs, stepping hard and getting his head kind of stuck on the front foot. Again, more of a front foot fighter. Again, front foot fighter here, countering the jab. Boom, beautiful. Now, he doesn't always have very much weight on his back foot, okay? Which means that he's more in position to let the right hand go quickly, as you see him able to counter right over the top of the jab, than he is to put power into the right hand. Now, I think he has a more powerful left hook than right hand, but because he's more of a front foot fighter anyway, he doesn't actually bring his weight back to the back foot very often. Something Manny Pacquiao was having a problem with in his fight against Ugas, as we watched Inoue's foot coming forward, right? Coming forward because he jumped into pendulum, brought all his weight, and now he's stuck there for these counters. Again, that's something that Casimero is going to want to be looking for too, countering the right hand. Now, both of these fighters have very similar styles in the way that they punch in pendulum because, spoiler alert, it only works one way. So because they're going to be mirrored in these manners in the way that they jump forward, finding their punches, is going to be a very highly contentious fight for as long as it lasts. And it might last all 12 rounds. Who knows? It could. Donaire versus Inoue surprised me a lot that it went 12 rounds because I don't know very many people I think are capable of being on the line with Donaire for 12 rounds. Now, I don't know very many people who are capable of being on the line with Casimero for 12 rounds either. Rigondeaux doesn't count because he was ducking below the line. He was cheating to avoid serious punishment. Yeah, and if you cheat, of course you're going to get knocked out, right? But what I want to point out here, excellent control of the line, excellent feint, excellent right hand, but he's not right on balance to throw his next shot. You see that more of a cuffing shot right there? He's trying to get his balance more so. And I anticipate that this is going to be a huge opening after this shot for Inoue to land the left hook of his counter of his own, okay? If you take a look at Casimero, his hands are not up in position to defend this position once he gets here, and I think that he's going to eat a lot of counters. Now, coming forward, 1-1-2, very classic move, right? Again, we saw Maloney try the exact same thing against Inoue, and Inoue was able to not only make sure he was never in position to be hit by it, on average, but he was able to counter it. Now, take a look at Casimero's back foot as he jumps forward, and his weight continues to propel him forward, right? His momentum as he's moving forward, again, drives him into what I think is going to be a bad position to be in front of Inoue against that left hook. Again, this fight, I think, is going to be fought and won with both of these fighters' left hooks. Now, you cannot just ignore the right hand, obviously, but the right hand is going to be leading people into the position for their left hooks, and I think that the left hook is going to be the decider. And here, we have Duke Micah getting his jab controlled. He's trying to throw his right hand, and Casimero is countering him with the left hook. Very similar to what Inoue is going to be trying to do to him. Again, these guys are going to be very similar in technique. Whoever feints and probes better, I think, is going to have the upper hand, okay? The one who's going to be, winning the fight. Now, this clip here is really interesting because Casimero is just coming forward and he's just blasting this dude, just letting big punches go. And this is how he exits the line, in a position to be hit by not just a combination, but the best combination that Inoue throws. Okay? The quick 1-2 right in that position. And if Casimero thinks he's going to be able to just cross the line for free, like he does against other fighters, like he did against this guy, right? Look at him just slide across the line here and set up this body shot, right? He does get hit with this shot and this shot, but it's not free to stand in front of Inoue. Inoue's fast, he's really sharp, and if you're not careful when you cross his line, he's going to catch you with a shot. Now, while Inoue doesn't move his head very much, he does know how to punch you while you cross the line. Okay, he does have pretty decent timing, and that allows him to take advantage of that. So Casimero's going to have to make sure he does everything correctly so he doesn't get walked into counters like this and walked into big punches. Now, again, Inoue is very sharp with his counters. We can see Maloney jumping in with the 1-1-2 here and trying to land that body shot, and Inoue is destroying him on the line. He just dominates this weight transition, and this sequence right here, he just annihilates it almost every single time Maloney tries to initiate it. Now, again, probing a little bit right there. Now, Maloney coming in with the quick 1-2 here. And again, Inoue is just blasting him. And it's out of nowhere, right? He's so fast and he's so sharp, right? Again, baiting more weight on the front foot to move his weight to the back foot, right? And again, I think that that's exactly how he's going to fight Casimero. And Casimero wants to be the one going forward. Inoue is going to want to be going forward too, but Inoue has more of a propensity to be better going backwards with his hooks, I think, than going forwards. Now, crossing the line is not free against your opponent, and we saw that that Casimero was just kind of willy-nilly about it, not even really paying attention against Duke Micah, and here he is, Maloney, trying the same thing right in front of Inoue. And it's not free to cross the line, no matter how good of a fighter you are, right? And Maloney gets to the front foot and immediately eats an uppercut. Again, because Inoue is good at timing people crossing the line and following their weight. And people call this good punch selection, right? It's kind of good punch selection. It's understanding what position your opponent is in and understanding what punches are supposed to attack them. Punch selection, yes. But there's so much more that goes on with that idea than just good punch selection, because in my mind that sounds like there's a lot more of randomness going on than just understanding, like, that you know what position your opponent's going to move into, because generally that's where you're trying to get them to go, right? So there's a very important idea there too, in that if Casimero gets predictable, there are going to be places that Inoue is going to allow him to move so that he can counter him, that he can hit him. Because now, well, we're going to get into a little bit more, but as we can see here, standing on the line in front of Inoue, sometimes it's free, right? It's not free because he's sharp, he's fast, he hits hard, but he's not always in position to counter because he has a natural tendency to be on the front foot. Now, real quick, I'm going to go back here. What position is he in when he's getting cracked by this right hand here, right? He's more on the back foot than on the front foot, right? So where's his natural counter? Well, we talk about him being a front foot fighter, right? So he's throwing the uppercut, trying to get to the front foot, open up some space. Now he gets pushed off. Now look at the position that he meets him in, okay? This is his trap position, Okay, just like Floyd Mayweather, but Mayweather did it with his hands down, right? He's in neutral one. He's waiting for the punch. He's just waiting for Maloney to do something. And Maloney says, oh, I'm going to throw this right hand. He's in that position. I hit him with the right hand last time. And Inoue says, oh, this is my trap card. Boom. He said, I was waiting for you here. And now he's exploding out of this position because this is the position that he fights in. Not the one on the back foot. Not the one that he's in now after he's already thrown the hook. But the one that he was in just before baiting on the front foot here. So it's going to be very important for Casimero to feint and probe and move Inoue out of this position, right? Or feint this position with his right hand so that he can catch Inoue with a hook as he moves out of this position. But Casimero has really good head movement, so I think that may be a good plan. Now, Inoue, coming forward, is not always the best at feinting and probing, right? There he was trying to use the shoulder feint timing against Maloney, right? Trying to push him around with the head movement, right? We call this on Fouts boxing theory the active guard, right? The use of using your hands at a beat and a rhythm and changing positions to threaten your opponent's position while also offering you safety, right? It does so many things. And here it is, pushing Maloney off of his line. Each time Inoue changes positions, it threatens a new punch, and it's able to push Maloney around the ring, right? Free, right? For free. But at some point, you still have to throw punches, and you still have to feint, and you still have to make your opponent think something's coming, because if every time even though you have all the active guard going, the positions, if they're easy to read and you are in front of a really experienced guy, all you're enacting is the shoulder feint timing, the ability to feint your opponent without actually throwing a punch by using the mechanics of your body weight and the way that you move naturally through your positions. Now, if you're looking to learn more stuff about the shoulder feint or how to get on the line with your opponent, or you're looking for partner drills, or you're looking for ways to learn how to box, right, from the ground up, and I'm not just talking about positioning and learning to transition your weight on the bag. I'm learning to actually take what you learned from the bag and take it into a real fight, into a real person. I have a bunch of partner drills that I created. It's 4 hours of video teaching two beginners who've never boxed before to how to get onto the line with their opponent, how to cover and control the line, how to block, how to defend the jab, how to set up pull counters on the jab, and how to defend the jab in each and every way, not only in the orthodox position, but in the southpaw position as well. Not only in the southpaw and the orthodox positions, but against both southpaw and orthodox positions from both stances. So it's drills for all sides, so you can learn how to fight, each position. You can understand what the other guy's thinking. You can understand what everyone's trying to achieve from every position. And you can learn to fight on the line just as well as Naoya Inoue, right? Actually, better. You learn better, I promise, better. Anyway, getting countered because he comes forward and he doesn't feint and probe, right? He just jumps into the punch, and the shoulder feint timing is already being read by Maloney. And because Inoue only has the ability to follow his weight with his punches, because as he moves into a position, he punches instead of feints, Maloney is able to find and get control of that punch and then counter him, right? Now, this is a 14-second sequence where Inoue is going to be following Maloney, and it starts off with him getting punched in the head with the right hand. Right here. Gets controlled, walks into a right hand. Now, Naoya Inoue is a front foot fighter, right? You don't block the right hand on the front foot. You block the right hand on the back foot. This is the problem that Manny Pacquiao was having. He was trying to block it from the wrong position, and it kept finding its way around the guard. This is something that Casimero will be very good at too. So if Inoue doesn't learn to move his head away from this punch, he's going to be getting caught with a lot of that shot as he follows Casimero around. Now, he's not going to be following Casimero around unless he hurts Casimero, because Casimero is going to be the aggressive fighter. Casimero is going to be the one feinting and probing and controlling his opponent once he gets used to Inoue's shoulder feint timing. Inoue is going to catch him with the first few jabs. He's going to follow him around. He's going to, right? He's going to jump out of his guard, smack him with that jab. And he's going to catch him with some shit. But eventually, maybe a round, maybe two, maybe half a round, maybe Inoue gets someone, or maybe Casimero gets someone who can do that in camp, right? Spoiler alert. Anyway, it's not that hard. It's not that hard. But eventually, if he hurts him, he's going to be following him around. And then I think that we're going to have a lot of situations like this. Because again, Inoue is always punching with his weight, right? Not feinting, right? He's very honest with it. Well, because he has a lot of power, right? Because of A, because of B. Well, if you're hurting a guy, right, you want to feint him and walk him into a bigger shot, right? So why is Inoue having such a hard time feinting this guy? Where's the active guard? Here he is in his trap again. He's waiting to be punched, right? No punch comes. Oh, reset, right? Maloney makes him reset, shoots a jab at him, controlling the space, not even really doing anything, but Inoue's not doing anything. Shooting a probing jab, getting timed on his rhythm, and then walked into another right hand, right? Now, I'm not trying to talk shit about Inoue, okay? But as you fight people who are better and better, and you fight people that are closer to your talent level, right? You're going to get away with less things. And I think that the fact that I don't know if Inoue's ever been in the ring with someone, you know, Donaire, right? Donaire was a very tough fight. But I don't know if he's ever been in the ring with someone who can cross his line with either hand with power, right? I know Donaire has a decent pull counter right hand, but he's more a left hook guy. This is going to be a really tough fight for Inoue, okay? And I don't know, again, if Inoue is going to be able to go forward against Casimero, because Casimero not only moves his head with each one of his punches, but he's also good at feinting and probing and setting up his punches decently, okay? Decent, right? Decent. Not like the best at it, right? He's no Lomachenko, right? But he's decent at it. And he's also really good at this move too. And this is Inoue's best move, right? The 1-2, 1-2, and he's able to take a quick step off the line and catch this dude and drop him with an excellent left hook. And again, I think that Casimero is going to be a better fighter going backwards than Inoue is going to be going forwards. But I think that they may be pretty evenly matched with Casimero going forward and Inoue going backwards. Which means that, man, I don't know who I'm picking. If you watch the full fight film study, you'll definitely see that I'm favoring. There are a lot of instances in which I'm favoring Casimero. And you'll have to see why in the full fight film study. It's an hour and 18 minutes long on top of this free 20 minutes that you got here. But we'll be breaking down some of the same clips and all this other stuff and a lot more other stuff. So check it out on Patreon. And if you guys have any questions and any comments, I direct them towards Patreon. Yeah. And yeah, if you guys are looking for shadow boxing, learning how to fight, learning whatever, check out my other Vimeo packages too. There'll be links in the description. And yeah, thanks guys.